there was Shuffle in Open G tuning based on the playing of Mike Dowling. And please do open the video description below. There you'll find all the information concerning the song and also the tablature. I tapped it out from beginning to end, and that's what I'm going to teach in this video. So we're in open G tuning. You have to tune down your 6th string to D, 5th string to G, and the 4th, 3rd and 2nd string remain as in standard tuning, and the 1st string is also tuned down to D. Do check your B string. If you tuned all the other strings down, the ones I mentioned, then you'll find out that your B string is a bit out of tune. It's one of those things when you tune down that happen without a reason. So let's get to it. And first of all, the bass throughout the song is mainly monotonic bass, and I play what I call the country blues bass, open and then muted as much as possible. Alright, here we go. So those are the first 4 bars. And we're going with a partial chord in G. And I use my pinky and 2nd finger because I have to go down. That's the easiest thing, to go down to the 3rd fret for that G7. And notice the last note of that first bar. There are a lot of pickup notes in this song. They're not really melody notes, they're very soft, like here. And I'm sliding a partial G chord. The great thing about open G tuning is that you can use the middle strings, 2nd, 3rd and 4th are unchanged, so you can use chords that you already know. Like this is a partial G chord, this is your bar chords, but just 3 chords, 3 strings fretted, 2nd, fret 3, 4 and 3. So we're sliding up. And again a little pickup note there. Same as before, and then we're going to G, and since we're in open G tuning with our 1st string tuned down, we have to place our little finger on the 9th fret. 9, 6, 7. So that's our G7 chord. And then we're going to our C. Pinky doing all the work. And all, let's say the double stops, I use my 2 fingers to pick those. Middle finger for the 1st string, index finger for the 2nd string. Again that soft pickup note, and back to our G. Sorry. So I'm moving up the chords to play those open strings in between. Going down and to our D7. Now that D7, bar 9, a bit odd maybe. I'm doing that twice, temp index. But softly of course. Notice the bend is very slight. In the whole song the bends are very slight bends. turn around, bass is going down, second string is going up, and then ending for our 12th bar in D. All those little strums you see with arrows in the tab are done with my fingers, so like that, but very subtle. So we're on the second verse, and there we go to our G, up high, and I'm accenting that. Notice from strong to less volume. And then our C, and against those pickup notes. Sorry. Open. Again, I'm moving down. Mike Dowling sometimes doesn't move the whole chord down, but just is in his middle, in his pinky, sorry. That works too. Walking into our C chord. I use my thumb wrap here. I love to use my thumb. You have it, so why not use it? Of course, you can use the chords, from the chord, the C chord like this. And in the second beat, and the upstroke, also the fourth string is played with the index and the third string with the middle. Very slight bend. There we have an interlude single string run, and bar 19 is that. I use my thumb and index, and I'm going to mute the strings after I pick them. So I get something like that. Not and then we have our partial G chord again. And notice the muting. And our D7 bar 21. Now this is an awkward form, like that, going from that. Just imagine you're going for the long A chords, but you leave your second finger, which you already have on the third string, and you just move it up. And then those two fingers, the index and the pinky, will form the long A chords. So bar 21 again, and relax your hand when you're doing that form. Bar 23, a very unusual turnaround. And the second beat I play the fourth string open with my thumb, and then with the index, and I do the hammer on the full chord, the partial C chord on the second string first fret and the fourth string second fret. So bar 23. E7. So we have the third verse. Alright, that boogie figure, and you notice I'm capable of varying my bass sounds, my bass notes. I can play flash, or by simply tilting my tempo a little bit, So the nail also hit the strings, so it's a mixture of nail and temp. So, and that's useful in this third verse where we do that boogie figure. And bar 27 and 28, all the bass notes are played with a temp except the last note of bar 27 there. I'm going to use the open 4th string and play it with the index finger. Again our C7 here, bar 29. Notice those last 2 beats of bar 30. I'm muting with my picking finger. A bit of strumming there. And when I go down here, I keep it short and use all my 3 fingers, index, middle and 3rd finger or ring finger, to play that those little chords there. Just one hit and sliding to the 2nd fret. Open 1st and 2nd. Alright, bar 32 one more time. Alright, measure, the 4th verse. And now we're going to use the Robert Johnson chord. That's what he does. So, I fret it like this, and I'm going to do a picking variation. And in that 38 beat, I don't go for the half bar there. I simply go with my index finger to the 5th fret, 2nd string, leave the 3rd string as it is, and then I'm going back to the full chords. So. Notice the bass. Now, measure 40, maybe the hardest part of the song. You see that in the 2nd and the 4th note, they have fermata. You can let them ring as long as you want. But maybe in the performance where you see my leg a bit more, you will notice that I will keep the beat with my foot tapping. So that da 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 da. You must imagine that a metronome is still ticking, so that you resume on the right beat. That's all. But you can make it simpler. For example, bar 40 you can play. Just keep the beat with your bass. And walk into the C chord like we did before, for example. You can do all kinds of variations. And here we go into the alternating bass. Bar 43, again I'm doing accenting with my thumb nail flash combination. And after bar 45, I do a little upstrokes, not in the tab, but I did it anyway. And it's more a percussive upstroke. It's not really, strings really ringing. And I'm accenting that first bass note of bar 46. Really going softly over the strings and at that temp. Different there at the ending, and I fret that with second, third and pinky. And then I played the first verse one more time, and then then I went to the fifth verse, which goes like this. Sorry. So it's sliding to the fifth fret, a little bit of vibrato, won't hurt. And we're picking up the offbeat of the second beat. Playing the same thing but on the treble string. And here we're going down and going into our C chord. Heavily muted there. Again, that pickup note there. Now those are quite stretches. Well, the G chord we've seen before. And the easiest thing I find is that after our bar 54, I'm going to slide to the 7th fret on the 3rd string, and you see my other fingers are not fretting yet anything. I have time to place them. Same thing here. Target with your eyes the 10th fret, and then add the fingers, the other fingers. And there's a fret between each finger there, so that's quite a stretch, but it works. And then to our D chord, but with a bar down. Hit! So, that's it for Shuffling Open G. Have fun with it.